Guys, Matt Montanez here again, and today I'm going to show you the 1176 compressor plugin. And I love this compressor. It is my favorite compressor. I use it on every single song, especially on vocals. I love to hear it on. I like to put it on like drums, do parallel compression and things like that. But today I'm just going to be showing you on vocals. And the thing that's great about this plugin is not only is there a lot of different emulations of it, so you slightly get a different sound and color from all these other companies making it, but there are different revisions. So like you got your AE version, you got your LN version, your SE, your Rev A, you got your blue face, you got the black face, things like that. I'm going to be showing you the Waves CLA-76, and that's just because I feel like everybody has the Waves CLA-76. I'm pretty sure not everybody has the BF-76 or the T-Rax version, the Black 76, or down here we got the UAD 1176, and I believe Slate makes a version of it, and Softtube makes a version, and some other companies. With that in mind, they all work exactly the same. They all have the same knobs, they all have the same ratios and things like that. So I'm going to close these out. If you listen closely right now, you can already hear all the color, or not color, but all the analog emulation it does. So when I close these out, it's going to just start going away. And it was so loud because they were all stacked up on top of each other. So they emulated the analog of this compressor, and basically it's pulling from like the power supply and stuff like that. I personally don't like that sound, so I always hit it off to take that noise out, because when you start a song and it's like really quiet in the beginning, then you just hear all that hum and that noise, and it's just very distracting, so I always hit it off. First thing we're going to do is we're going to set our ratio, and you got your ratio here is 4:1, 8:1, 12:1, 20:1, and you got your all button. And what the all button does is the all button is emulating what the original hardware did, is when they hit all the buttons in, it made the compressor a lot more aggressive and added a nice distortion to it. And I use that a lot for when I am doing parallel compression. So you can check that out. It sounds great sometimes on vocals or whatever you want to do it on. It just adds a nice cool distortion effect. There's not a threshold on this plugin, because in the 1176 they're preset thresholds. And what I mean by that is I'll actually pull up the stock compressor to show you. So if I pull up the stock compressor in Pro Tools, and you want to set your ratio, so we're setting 4:1. So if I set 4:1 here, we have to set our threshold. But in the 1176, they're preset. So if you're setting it to 4:1, it's setting the threshold to -18. If you set to 8:1, it sets it to -16. If you set it to 12:1, it's setting your threshold to -14. And if you set to 20:1, it sets it to -12. And that's what it's doing on the 1176 automatically, because they're preset. So we're going to stick to 4:1. And that's just because I'm going to show you a vocal, and then I'll toggle through the ratio so you can hear the difference. Then let's set our attack and release. And in the 1176, it's a little funny the way they labeled it, and people always think if I set to 1, that's the fastest. But it's actually the opposite in this compressor. The lower the value is, the lower the time is. So, or slower the time is. So if I set it to 1, the attack, that is setting it to the slowest time, which is 1 millisecond. If I set the attack to 7, that is setting it to the fastest time, which is 50 microseconds. If I set the release to 1, that's setting the release to 1 second, and if I set the release to 7, that's 50 milliseconds. So I'm going to set it to the slowest attack and the fastest release for this vocal, and then I'll dial it in so you can hear it. From over here, you want to go to your input knob. And what your input knob is, it's just asking how much compression do you want. So if you want more compression, you push it up. If you want less compression, you push it down. And the way they mark those values is -infinity to 0. So if I move it, you can see right here that the values are starting in the negative. And then the output is just your makeup gain. So when you look at your gain reduction on your meter, then you add more to make up your lost gain. You got your meter buttons, which is gain reduction, your input levels, your output levels, and then you got your compression off button. And what the compression off button does, it's the same thing like when I talked in my API 550 AEQ video, is when you hit that in button, when it's on or off, it's basically just bypassing that section, the EQ section. This one is bypassing the compression, but just keeping the sound of the compression, the emulation they did. So I'm going to leave that on. I'm not going to turn it off. I'm going to leave that on so you can actually hear the compression. So let's play this vocal and see where we're at, and let's dial in some settings. I'm going to push the compression a little harder than usual just so you can hear how it sounds.
You say my name like you don't know what's round the way, what's down that road. They see the way, they see my soul. Don't need the break, I just need control. You say
and I'm going to solo this vocal so we can just hear the vocal and not the music behind it.
You say my name like you don't know what's round the way, what's down that road. They see the way, they see my soul. Don't need the break, I just need control.
So if you can hear it, it's adding just a little more color to this vocal, a little more distortion to it. It's really cool. It's really subtle.
You say my name like you don't know what's round the way, what's down that road.
So I'm going to switch to the Bluey version so you can hear what that does. And basically what the Bluey version is, the two differences of this version is the Bluey version has a slightly faster attack and release time, and it's more gritty, and it adds a little bit more distortion, like it pushes the compressor harder. And you'll see that because I'm going to dial back the settings, and you'll see that it'll probably be hanging around -7, and then when I toggle to the Blackie with the same settings, it'll hang around -3. So check it out.
You say my name like you don't know what's round the way, what's down that road. They see the way, they see my soul. Don't need the break, I just need control. You say my name like you don't know.
You see that? How it just pushes it a little bit harder, so it gives it a more distortion sound. And that's really cool about this compressor because it adds a little more presence, a little more clarity with that blue stripe version there. The Blackie is just a little more subtle, so it keeps it calmer. I'm going to add the music back in so you can actually hear the difference with the music. You're going to hear that the blue version is going to give it like a little more energy. Like it's going to push it to the top. And then when I switch to the Blackie version, it's going to calm it down and the vocals are going to settle back a little bit. Check it out.
You say my name like you don't know what's round the way, what's down that road. They see the way, they see my soul. Don't need the break, I just need control. You say my name like you don't know what's round the way, what's down that road. They see the way, they see my soul.
So you can really hear it when I switch from the Bluey to the Blackie in the middle of a sentence. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it on this group vocal in the chorus so you can hear it with a lot more voices and it'll be easier to hear and it sounds so much better. Check this out. I'm going to take it off here. I'm going to put it in my auxiliary track here. And I'm going to push this compressor a little harder than normal just so you can hear the difference. But it's really cool how you'll hear that the Bluey is going to give it a little more distortion and it's going to really push it a little forward. And then the Blackie is going to calm it down a bit. It's going to be really cool. Check it out.
Why we gotta fight? Never get enough. You know it ain't right. There ain't much to talk about here. Nothing left to talk about here. Eyes, baby, look me in the eyes. Only when we make enough. The only time that you can hide. There ain't much to talk about here.
You can really hear it in this section a lot here.
We make enough. The only time that you can hide. There ain't much to talk about. Only when we make enough. The only time that you can hide.
And in that section there, you can hear how it pushes it forward, a little more distortion, a little more dirty, and then just like I said, it calms it down. And that's just because the Blackie has that smoother attack and release. And then the blue face is just a little more aggressive. Really, really cool compressor. I love it. It's my favorite. I hope this video really showed you guys something on how this compressor works with the preset thresholds, how the attack and release works. And I hope it's very beneficial and you guys really take advantage of using this compressor a lot more on your tracks because it is awesome. It sounds great. It tightens a lot of stuff up and it's very versatile. You can use it on kicks, drums, snares, you can use it on vocals, grouped vocals, you can use it on bass. Try that out. Try this Blueface with bass and you will love it. Alright guys, subscribe to the page. The link to this song is going to be in the description below if you want to hear the final mix of it, and it's pretty good. I like it. I used the 1176 quite a bit on it, so you guys can actually hear that distortion when I push the compressor really hard. Alright, take care.